The internet is buzzing right now after viral claims involving Erika Kirk and Bowyer started spreading like wildfire. At first it looked like just another trending topic, but within hours, clips, posts, and discussions began taking over. Social media. People are now asking the same question. What is actually going on here? Some believe these claims point to something bigger happening behind the scenes, while others argue this is a classic case of the internet jumping to conclusions without full context. As opinions continue to clash and speculation grows, the story is becoming more complicated by the minute. So, what are these viral claims? Where did they start? And why is everyone suddenly talking about it? Stay with us, because this situation is not as simple as it looks and the truth might surprise you. Hashtag viral drama, hashtag trending. Now this story didn't start with a major announcement. It started quietly, almost unnoticed. A few posts began circulating online, referencing Erika Kirk and Bowyer in connection with what some users described as a situation that hadn't been fully explained. At first, these posts didn't get much attention. They were vague, lacking detail, and easy to scroll past. But then something changed. More accounts started sharing similar claims, and when multiple sources begin talking about the same thing, even without clear evidence, it catches attention. Trending now. Hashtag viral claims. Within hours, the posts evolved into a trending topic. Clips began appearing on TikTok, where creators added dramatic music and captions designed to grab attention. On X, threads started forming, with users trying to piece together what was happening. YouTube channels quickly followed, uploading breakdown videos that attempted to explain the situation. And just like that, the story went viral. But here's the problem. No one had the full context. Some posts suggested there was more information behind the scenes. Others hinted at receipts or details that had not yet been fully revealed. But despite all the speculation, there was no clear, verified source confirming any specific claim. And that's where the confusion began. Internet drama, hashtag debate online. As the story spread, people started forming opinions. One group believed the claims were pointing toward something real. They argued that the consistency of the posts suggested there might be truth behind them. They analyzed every detail, looking for patterns or clues that could confirm their assumptions. Another group pushed back. They argued that without verified evidence, the claims should be treated as speculation. They pointed out how easily misinformation can spread online, especially when a story is driven by curiosity rather than facts. And just like that, the internet split into two sides. This is what turns a simple topic into a viral controversy, because once people start choosing sides, engagement increases dramatically. Comments turn into debates. Debates turn into arguments, and arguments turn into millions of interactions. Viral debate. Meanwhile, content creators added fuel to the fire. Some focused on breaking down the claims, trying to explain what they might mean. Others focused on the reactions, highlighting how divided the audience had become. A few took a more dramatic approach, presenting the situation as something much bigger than it might actually be. TikTok, in particular, played a huge role. Short, fast-paced edits of the story began trending often, with bold captions like "This is huge" or "What are they hiding?" These clips didn't always provide new information, but they amplified emotion, which is what drives viral content. Instagram Reels followed this same pattern, simplifying the situation into quick, attention-grabbing summaries. And with each new post, the story grew. Social media effect. But here's where things get interesting. Despite the massive attention, one key question remained unanswered. What exactly are these claims? Because while people were talking about them, very few were able to clearly define them. This created a strange situation, where the conversation itself became more important than the actual information. People weren't just reacting to facts, They were reacting to the idea of something happening, and that idea was enough to keep the story alive. Viral controversy. As more users joined the discussion, the timeline of the story became a topic of debate. When did it start? Who shared it first? How did it spread so quickly? These questions led to deeper conversations about how viral content works. Some users pointed out that social media often amplifies incomplete information. A small detail can be taken out of context and turned into a much larger narrative. Others argued that even if the claims were unclear, the reaction itself was worth paying attention to, because how people respond to a story can reveal just as much as the story itself. Public reaction. At this point, the situation had evolved into something much bigger than its original form. It was no longer just about Erika Kirk and Tyler Bowyer. It was about how information spreads. A single post turns into multiple posts. Those posts turn into a trend. That trend turns into a debate. And that debate turns into a full-blown controversy. All within hours. This is the power of modern social media. But it also comes with a challenge, because when information spreads faster, then it can be verified. People are left trying to figure out what's real and what isn't, single quotes too. And in that uncertainty, speculation takes over. Stay informed. As the conversation continued, some users began calling for caution. They reminded others that viral claims are not always accurate. They emphasized the importance of waiting for verified information before forming conclusions. Others, however, continued to engage with the story as it evolved. They followed updates, watched new videos, and kept discussing the situation as if new details could appear at any moment. And that's what keeps a story like this alive. The possibility of something more. The expectation that the next post, the next clip, or the next update might reveal something new. Trending story. But here's the reality. At this stage, much of the conversation is still based on interpretation, and interpretation can vary widely. Two people can look at the same information and come to completely different conclusions. That's why stories like this become so divisive, because they don't provide clear answers. They create questions, and questions drive engagement. Now it's your turn. What do you think about these viral claims? Do you believe there's something more behind this story? Or do you think it's being blown out of proportion by social media? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this debate is still ongoing and your opinion matters. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more viral drama, trending controversies, and deep dive explanations just like this. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next big story. And remember, just because something is trending doesn't mean it's fully verified. So always take a step back and look at the bigger picture before forming your opinion. Viral drama, #stay informed.